Hey everyone, it's Gamefruitpulp, but welcome back to another Building Toronto video. Today we're going to be looking at One King West and sort of going over the history of the build as well as sort of the details about the building and all that kind of good stuff. This is a pretty cool build for me to do because it's our first residence build. It's the first build in Toronto that is residential as opposed to being office towers and that kind of stuff. So aside from the Hotel Victoria, of course, but that's more of a smaller build. So this was the first tower that people live in. So this is sort of exciting, and it's also kind of fitting because it's moving into a transition of what we're going to be working on lately or soon, because a lot of the builds in the future are going to be towers that are residential usage. Aside from Scotia Plaza and Commerce Court North, the rest of the buildings we're doing in the foreseeable future are mostly condominiums. So it marks sort of a movement away from the office towers and into something a little bit different. But the first thing we're going to do is sort of do a tour of the building. The interior lobby isn't very done, to be completely honest with you. We're going to leave it kind of plain just because it's hard to fit what's in here with the keeping it to scale and that kind of stuff. Parking garage exists, and the stairwell exists, and the stairwell is actually used quite frequently to take wedding pictures. But moving up to the second floor of the original building, we have a little restaurant in here with an actual kitchen in it as well. I built this kitchen. There's a little kitchen for them to build it, or for them to cook, obviously. That's what you do in kitchens. And then moving on up, elevator shaft for the older part of the building is down here. But we're going to take the stairs because they're here. We might as well. Kind of a dark stairwell. Could use probably some light, but that's okay. And we're going to come up to the first floor of the condominiums. And so the first floor is the same as the rest of the floors on this portion of the build. So you can see here they're all fully decorated. They got closets. They got living space. They've got a kitchen. They've got bedroom with some paintings. And that's kind of really it. Nothing too crazy about them. They're all a little bit different and unique in their style, but I put a lot of work into myself and the other builders. Mundane Glue did some interior work as well as Storm. Put a lot of work into trying to make sure that these were fully furnished because we don't want to have just empty kind of carcasses of buildings in the world. And so we wanted to make sure that we kind of did the best we could to furnish every building. And so we're going to move up to the top floor of, I'm trying to ignore chat, of this tower. At least you could see nothing really too crazy. Again, mostly the same style. Actually, I think you could go up one floor further. I thought maybe not, but you can see kind of work your way through, and then we get to the bigger units with a full walk-in closet and a big bedroom, a bathroom. This is the biggest unit actually in the entire build, is this floor, because it was kind of this awkward crossover between the original building and the tower, which was built more recently. But we move on. I believe there's one more up floor. Yes, and there is water leaking. We have a leak. We need a plumber. This is an issue. Apparently there's a leak in the building. That's okay. We'll get that addressed. We'll get our local plumber Storm to come and fix the leaking on the roof, which is probably from the pool that's above here. But anyways, moving up to the next floor. This is the first floor that is the tower level. So these units are obviously smaller because they need to fit in the tower. The tower is a very interesting kind of build because it's quite narrow. It's you'll see when we go back outside, but it's a really interesting build, and I think the architects probably had a pretty significant challenge working with this build because it's a scale of 11:1, and meaning that for every block wide, it's 11 long, and so it's a really long, skinny building. And so, as you can imagine, for the architects, it was probably difficult to design a building that was functional as well as a building that looked nice. So as we work our way up the floors, there is 51 floors in the building. I don't know if our building has 51 floors. Ours building is the correct height. It's 176 meters tall, and our building is exactly 176 meters. But again, all fully furnished. As we go up, you can see it's a pretty good view. The top floor is the penthouse suites that we had built, give you a pretty wicked view of what we've built so far. And so as you can imagine, the actual builds in Toronto, the actual building in real life, probably has a pretty good view, and that explains why this is one of the more expensive places to live in the city, especially if you want to live in the downtown core. It's a very expensive place. It's very posh. When you go by during the day, you see lots of expensive cars going in and out because it costs a lot of money to live here. So naturally, this is what you get. But as we move up to the top floors, you can see they're extremely narrow. The building narrows out quite a bit. And we did our best to still get a furnished building inside. But you can see a pretty cool view of the building. We got a couple more floors up to go. But you can see the building narrows out quite significantly. So this door is open. We're going to move up to the top floors. This is the very top floor. Here we go. So this is the very top. As you can see, this is a very small building. We didn't actually put walls in this one because we couldn't really think of how to put walls and make it still practical. But you can see we get a good view. We'll go through to the roof. There we go. And you can see this whole sort of surrounding area. The Adelaide Hotel is right there, I believe. And then obviously over here is Commerce Court. With Commerce Court, we just fell off a building. With Commerce Court North right there and Scotia Plaza. But a pretty cool build. Going into the sort of details about it, the tower was built on top of the original building at the bottom, which you can clearly see both in real life and in our build. I think we articulated that pretty well. The original building was built by the Heritage Dominion Bank, and it was built in 1914. As I said, it was a bank. It's now been transferred into a bar, and something kind of cool. The vault area of the old bank has been transformed into a kind of party room, so you can go into the bank vault and have your kind of dinner or whatever you're doing. But that was something I thought was pretty interesting. And then obviously the pool and the amenities, the gym, are on the roof of the building, which is why we did that. Moving on to the tower, this is actually one of the newer builds that we've actually built on the project. This was built in 2006, so it's about 12 years old. It was built by Stanford Downey Architects Incorporated. And as I mentioned, it's an extremely thin building with an 11:1 scale of width to length. I don't know if we captured that perfectly, but I think we did a pretty good job. You get the idea of how thin the building really is. It almost kind of looking like a sword coming out of the ground, which I think was the purpose of what the architects were kind of going for, as it narrows out near the top. It serves as a hotel / condo. It technically is registered as a condo, but it's managed as a hotel. So I don't really know what that's all about. But as I said, it's 51 stories and 176 meters tall. That's pretty much everything for this. Obviously, the roads and everything in the surrounding area are done. The King Street subway station is directly underneath. We need to eventually work on that. And then working over here, this is all kind of buildings we're working on to get to Scotia Plaza, because Scotia Plaza needs to have all the surrounding buildings completed as well. But that is pretty much it. As you can see, we're kind of working our way through here. I don't know what the next video is going to be for Building Toronto. We have a cool kind of Building Toronto video coming out that's a little bit different. That'll be out next week for sure. It's actually just finishing up rendering right now. I'm really excited for that, actually. That's going to be something kind of different. It wasn't put together by me. It's done by somebody else who's doing it for me. And all the details for that, I don't want to spoil too much, but the details for that will come out when the video is released. So look for that in the next week. I think this is probably coming out either Sunday or Monday. So if it comes out Monday, it will be this week. If this video comes out on Sunday, it depends on where you put Sunday on the weekly calendar. But anyways, if you enjoyed the video, I got distracted by chat again. If you enjoyed the video and you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. This is the 32nd Building Toronto that I've done, so there's lots to catch up on if you're interested. Additionally, if you enjoyed the channel or enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like and share the channel with some of your friends as well, because if you enjoyed it, chances are your friends will enjoy it as well. Aside from that, hope you guys have a good day, and I will catch you all next time. If you want to check out the server, IP is in the description down below, and to get to Toronto, just do /go and hit the beacon, and then you'll be here. So yep, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll catch you all next time. My name is Gamefruitpulp, and I will see you all later.